So last time we had discussed a very important concept and which is very universal also. What was it? Maxwell's equations. So as I said in the previous lectures, usually I'll make it a habit to write the Maxwell's equations because it is a almost guaranteed question for derivations. And sometimes for 5 marks they only ask you to write Maxwell's equations, all the 4 sets of equations in integral and point form. So in that sense also it is very important. So Maxwell's equations in integral and point form I am writing, and I am writing for time varying fields. So TVF stands for time varying fields. So you can make 3 columns in the exam. Law, which law you are referring to, then integral form. Obviously you have to write the word integral and not the symbol. Then point form. Right? So first was Gauss law for electric fields, and you have to use full form here. So what was it? What was it? Closed surface integral of d vector dot ds vector equal to q enclosed. And point form, after applying which theorem? Divergence theorem was del dot d vector is rho v. Then we had Gauss law for magnetic fields. Closed surface integral of d vector dot ds vector equal to 0. And we have del dot b vector equal to 0. Then we had modified Ampere's law. Again, there was a story behind it. It was done by Maxwell. What was the story? It was related to consistency in Ampere's law, which is nothing but continuity equation. So that was done by Maxwell, and it was a very important discovery. And again, he had reduced the actual 16 equations into this form. So that's why they are called as what? Maxwell's equations. So he had done a tremendous job. So that's why it is also called as modified Ampere's law. So what was it? Closed contour integral of h vector dot dl vector equal to surface integral of j vector plus dabba by dabba t d vector dot ds vector, right? And point form is del cross h vector equal to j vector plus dabba by dabba t d vector, right? Then finally we have Faraday's law. Closed line integral of e vector dot dl vector equal to minus dabba by dabba t surface integral of b vector dot ds vector. So this is del cross e vector equal to minus dabba by dabba t b vector, right? So these were the laws. So again, in just jiffy I'll tell what does this mean, what do all this means. So what does this mean? The total amount of electric flux density coming out of a surface is always equal to the charge enclosed by the surface. Then we said we cannot, if you break a magnet into two, we cannot separate the poles. So magnetic charges cannot be separated. So therefore the total amount of magnetic flux density coming out of a surface is 0. Then Ampere's law, if I have a current flowing through a conductor, it generates a magnetic field around it, right? So that is why we have equal to I enclosed here, right? So it is nothing but addition of current density, conduction current density and displacement current density. And what we learn further from this, that d vector is epsilon e vector. So this is nothing but electric field. Time varying electric field is always associated with magnetic field, and here b vector is mu h vector. Time varying magnetic field is always associated with electric field, so they always go hand in hand, right? So this was our first conclusion from the Maxwell's equations. So that page I have again kept it, as I said in the last week. So significance of Maxwell's equations, first point is interdependence of electric and magnetic fields. Means if E vector is there, H vector will be there, and if H vector is there, E vector will be there. Means if you have electric field, magnetic field has to be there. Remember, this is for time varying case, not for static case, right? So if E is there, H has to be there. If H is there, E has to be there. If E is there and H is not there, it is not possible for time varying case. Okay. So this is what we did last time. So let's start with a new topic, which is work and potential. So derivations are not important here, so I'll directly give the formulas. So what is work? I'm giving this so that you remember. Work is force into displacement, right? And if you apply the force, you are doing some work, so you are expending energy. So this is negative, right? So if I want to write in terms of vectors, so work is not a vector, so it is dw, and I am writing over a very small change, so it is minus, what will it be, f will become a vector, and yes, I can write it is displacement, that is length, so dl vector, right? So f is force vector, so you apply direction in which force, so that is the reason force is a vector. And what is force? From your 12th physics, you know f is q e, where e is electric field, so minus q e vector dot dl vector, right? So therefore total work done can be what, integral of this, so minus q, I can make this capital, minus q closed contour integral of e vector dot dl vector. So this is the expression for work, right? Now what is potential? Potential is nothing but work done per unit charge, so therefore potential is minus closed contour integral of e vector dot dl vector. So this is what I meant by saying E is minus V by D. So what is V? Minus E into D. E is electric field, D is length. So that is what we are getting, right? And what is E? 1 upon, for a point charge, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon Q upon R square AR cap. So if you consider R square is nothing but length, so this is also length, so R get cancelled. So what I can say, therefore V is Q upon 4 pi epsilon R. So these are the two expressions, right? And this is important for us. This is not that important. So numericals are asked based on this, right? So I'll write here only. So if I want potential of A with respect to B, so it is given by Q upon 4 pi epsilon into 1 upon RB minus 1 upon RA. Very important, I am finding potential of A with respect to B, but I am getting first B then A, and they are inverse of the distance, right? Next we have relationship between electric field and potential. So this is very important. A question is asked for 5 marks. What is the relation between electric field and potential? You have to derive it. So I'll derive it for you. So we can start with, in general, the potential expression is given by, so we have seen it now only, so it is minus q closed contour integral of E vector dot dl vector, right? So if I am assuming for a very small change, so for a very small change, V will become what, dV, Q will be, sorry, this Q is not there, so minus E vector, and I am doing for very small change, so it is not a integral, so minus E vector dot dl vector. Integral indicates what, I am integrating all the small lengths, but I am not assuming all the lengths, I am taking the small infinitesimal length, so integral is not used, okay? So how can I write this? So therefore dv equal to, E vector is nothing but in direction of x, y and z, right? So minus of ex, ax cap plus ay cap plus ez, az cap dot dx, ax cap plus dy, ay cap plus dz, az cap, right? So if you take this dot product, what will get? Ax cap dot ax cap is 1, so minus ex dx, so minus ex dx. Similarly, if you solve, you will get minus ey dy minus ez dz, right? So far we get this, but what we know from the chain rule, however, from, it is called as, chain rule is also called as calculus of multi variables rule. If you don't remember this in the exam, you will just write from chain rule. So what does this chain rule tell us? That this dv, this dv can be written as, so you have seen this in mathematics, can be written as dabba v by dabba x into dx plus dabba v by dabba y into dy plus dabba v by dabba z into dz. This is what chain rule tells us. It is a mathematical identity, right? So let's say this is equation 1, this is equation 2. So we can say from 1 and 2, what we can say, just think over it. Ex I can say, well, when I get dv, this is dv and this is dx, right? So can I say ex is minus dabba v by dabba x? So I can say ex is minus dabba v by dabba x, but we are having one expression only, right? So we can replace it by complete derivative, right? Similarly, ey will be what? Minus dv by dy. Ez will be what? Minus dv by dz. Right? So what will be entire E vector? So if you calculate this, you will get this as minus del dot V. So this is the expression. What is del? Dabba by dabba x, ax cap or I cap, plus dabba by dabba y, ay cap or j cap, plus dabba by dabba y, az cap or k cap, dot with V. So what you will get? And this is, if you take minus dabba by dabba x, V is a scalar. So dabba v by dabba x minus dabba v by dabba y minus dabba z by dabba v, it is nothing but this one, right? Sorry, this will be dabba only, because v can be a function of x, y and z. That is the reason it will be dabba only. So then we have a very important topic, which is Poisson's and Laplace's equations. So usually the derivation comes for 5 marks. So what is the point form of Gauss law? That page, yeah. This at the start of the lecture we wrote Maxwell's equations in integral and point form for time varying fields. So we have Gauss law for electric field. This is the point form. What is it? Del dot D vector is rho v. So let's start with this. The point form of Gauss law for electric fields is given as, what is it? Del dot D vector equal to rho v. Again, how we got this? We got it from integral form. And how we got it from integral form? By applying divergence theorem. Again, why I keep repeating this is so that you remember it and don't forget. Then what we know? Since D vector is epsilon E vector, what we can say? Therefore, del dot epsilon E vector equal to rho v. Now epsilon is constant, so del dot E vector equal to rho v by epsilon, right? So we get this equation, right? So this is called as so now we have to make one more change. And now previously what we have seen, that E vector is minus del V. So it is called as minus gradient of V. So this is nothing but gradient of potential. So what we get from here? Therefore del dot minus del V equal to rho v by epsilon. So I can take this minus sign here. So it will be del dot del V equal to minus rho v by epsilon. So what is del dot del? It will be del square V. So equal to minus rho v by epsilon. So this is my Poisson's equation. Okay. So this is del square V minus equal to minus rho v by epsilon. Isn't it a very simple derivation? What I have done, I have started with point form of Gauss law. Then I know D vector is epsilon E vector. So del dot epsilon E vector is rho v. So epsilon is constant, so I take it here because these are vectors, these are scalars. So del dot E vector is rho V by epsilon, right? So since E vector is equal to minus gradient of V, so I substitute here. So del dot minus gradient of V is rho V by epsilon. So minus I take it here. So minus rho V by epsilon. Del dot del V. So what is del dot del square, right? So now someone might have a doubt that del is a vector, so del square is also a vector. But here I am getting a scalar. That can be possible, but you are wrong in the sense that del square is not a vector now, it is a scalar. Why? Because what is del? Dabba by dabba x I cap plus dabba by dabba y j cap plus dabba by dabba z k cap. So if you take dot product with this, I dot I is 1. So dabba by dabba x I cap dot dabba by dabba x I cap. So it will be dabba square by dabba x square. So what is del square? It is a scalar only. Dabba square by dabba x square plus dabba square by dabba y square plus dabba square by dabba z square. So this is our del square. So both are scalars. And what is the, I forgot to tell you this. Where is that page? Yeah. Why we have this relation between E vector and potential is because if you find electric field point charge formula, what is it? 1 upon 4 pi epsilon q upon r square ar cap. So it is quite difficult to use this formula. You have to find the vector r. For example, it might be AB vector. So then you find magnitude of AB vector, which is r. Then you find the unit vector. So it is AB vector upon magnitude of AB vector, right? So then you have to draw the coordinate system. But if you know the potential, what is happening? If you know the potential, you just apply this formula minus del V. What will you get? You will get the E vector. And what is the beauty of this equation? This is a scalar. Potential is a scalar. So from a scalar, you are getting a vector. So that is the beauty of this equation. So usually, if you know the potential, it is very easy to find electric field. That is why this topic is important, and that is why this is usually asked in the example. Derive the relationship between electric field and electric potential. Remember, this is electric potential. There is, I am saying this because there is also something called as magnetic potential. Okay. So where were we? So we had started with Poisson's and Laplace's equation. So this is Poisson's equation. And I said del square is a scalar. It is not a vector. Remember, even though del is a vector. Because del dot del is what? Dot product. And we have seen in the very first or second lecture that dot product always gives a scalar. So this is a scalar. Okay. So then we have Laplace's equation. So first I'll write Poisson's equation is given as, so what is it? Del square V equal to rho V by epsilon, right? So if I say, if let's say rho V is 0, what will happen? What will this equation become? It will become del square V equal to 0, right? So this is nothing but Laplace's equation. Okay. So derive Poisson's and Laplace equation. This question usually comes for 5 marks. Very simple, right? So don't keep this for option. Okay. So next are numericals. So I will not cover them now. I will cover them in the next lecture. So again, I will stress on the importance of Maxwell's equations. This is a very important question. So what are they? Maxwell's equations in integral and point form for time varying fields. So what are those? We have integral form, point form and law. Make these 3 columns, make a box nicely, draw the lines, don't keep them open. So Gauss law for electric fields. Closed surface integral of d vector dot ds vector is q enclosed. Then you apply divergence theorem on this. You write q is what? Volume integral of rho v dv. Then this is volume integral, this is surface integral. So you cannot equate. So what you do? You convert surface integral to volume integral. What you use? You use divergence theorem, right? So both are volume, then you can equate. So you will get del dot d vector is rho v. Then we say if we have a magnet, it has a north pole and a south pole. If you break it into 2, what happens? It again has, then also it has a north pole and south pole. That is, magnetic charges cannot be separated. And if you see, the magnetic field is like this, right? So whatever goes out comes in. So that is why they cannot be separated. So the magnetic charge, positive and negative, get cancelled. So it is 0. So closed surface integral of b vector dot ds vector is 0. So again you apply what divergence theorem? So what you will get, del dot B vector equal to 0. Then modified Ampere's law. Closed contour integral of H vector dot dl vector is surface integral of J vector plus dabba by dabba t d vector dot ds vector. And apply what here? Stokes theorem. This was divergence theorem. So del cross H vector is J vector plus dabba by dabba t d vector. Then finally Faraday's law. Closed line integral of E vector dot dl vector is what? Minus dabba by dabba t surface integral of B vector dot ds vector. So del cross E vector is minus dabba by dabba t B vector, right?